Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation Podcast Festival Edition. Today we're with Tina Cox. She is with the Paradise Garden Foundation and host of Finsterfest. I'm curious about this one. Tina, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show today. And hello from Georgia and hello from Summerville, Georgia, up in the top left-hand corner of the state.
Perfect, perfect. Tina, give us a little background on you, where you grew up, and talk a little bit about your family and your career.
I love that about your show because you get to know your guest. It's interesting. I'm a late bloomer to the art scene. So for anybody that's out there, that's part of your for your fan base. This is kind of cool. I had parents that required me to go for business. You've got to learn how to make a living, and I did, and I joined corporate America, and it was very good to me.
Good.
And I was pretty much in blue blood corporate, doing a lot of business operations background, and then I walked into. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I walked into the High Museum of Art, which is the largest art museum in the Southeast, when I was 30 years old. And I up and decided that I was going to learn about art. And they had a volunteer table in the lobby. And I signed up to be a volunteer, and boom, they kind of incorporated me. I worked on a whole bunch of fundraisers, and I met a lot of people. And matter of fact, what was so great is when I was 30 years old, I met this huge group of people that we still are friends 34 years later. And so I met great people, all different walks of life from all different parts of the country, and we all like different type of visual arts and theater and music and that kind of thing. But we have one thing in common, and that we all met at the High Museum. We kind of call each other the Big Chill, and we've been together for many years, and with ups and downs as life challenges. So I started collecting folk art, what is called Southern folk art. And that was it's a big movement that has kind of happened. You've got Impressionist movement and all different types of pop art, Andy Warhol, everybody.
Yep.
And in the South, in the 40s, 50s, all the way through the 70s and the 80s. And there was a movement in the South that was Southern folk art. And I mean, everybody who's anybody was really starting to start collecting. And today it is a big deal. It really is. A lot of people in New York, Hollywood, worldwide. It's shipped everywhere. There's auction houses, Christie's, Sotheby's. They handle it. So does several of the larger art auction houses. And so the interesting thing is this whole movement of artwork I just fell in love with. I started collecting, and I started getting to know the artist. And one of the artists is right behind me. So this little screen that's behind me, this is Howard Finster, his Paradise Garden. And he has an art environment. It's 4 acres. This is where he lived and raised 5 kids. He was born in 1916. He passed away in 2001, and I became really good friends with him, and just loved him to death. He was an inspiration. He was a Baptist, self-proclaimed Baptist minister for most of his life. But when I visited him the first time, and I took a whole bunch of people, volunteers from the High Museum, we were just kind of checking it out, wondering what it's all about, and walked in. I mean, he was in his house, and it was like 4 people deep, and they were all young people standing around, kind of wondering, what in the world? Who is this guy? And I left. I looked around at his place, and it was really neat. He fixed bicycles, repaired small engines. He He worked at a few factories here and there just to try to make ends meet. But he started painting when he was 59 years old in 1976. And he
Wow.
said he was gonna paint 5,000 pieces, and he did. And then the next thing you know, he ended up painting 10,000, 15. He ended up painting, by the end of his life, 46,991 works of art.
Wow.
And then in addition to that, he was a musician. He played bluegrass and gospel, and he was self-taught on the banjo. So he ended up in 84 on the Johnny Carson show, Tonight Show by Johnny Carson.
Right.
And he kind of took over the show. It was a lot of fun. So he kind of shows off his music skills then. But prior to that, the kids over at University of Georgia, the art students, would come over and help him build his art environment on where he lived.
Oh,
and he
nice.
called it Paradise Garden. So this one kid said, hey, we've got this band, and we'd love for you to do you mind if we do a film in your garden? And Howard is always, one thing about him, he always said yes to everything. He didn't know what a music video was.
Right.
Well, excuse me. Well, he ended up doing the video music, and a video with them, and the band turned out to be REM, and it was the music video Radio Free Europe.
Oh,
and
wow.
by the way, they just celebrated the video's 40th anniversary just last week. So
wow, you're making me feel old now.
I know it is 40 years. Me too. And but he was pretty prolific, and he did a collaboration with the album cover with Michael Stipe, and then he started doing all of these other album covers. He actually did the album cover for Talking Heads' Little Creatures.
Oh yeah,
and won. And then he ended up winning Rolling Stone's album cover of the year for that.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well, let's jump into the festival, okay? So
yes,
for the people that have never been there, 3 questions. What does it look like? What does it smell like? And what does it sound like?
Oh, can I say Southern? It just doesn't get any better than that. So
no, I want to know. I want to know what kind of food you got going on. I want to know what kind of. I want to, and then want to know what kind of activities you got going on. If you have music, what kind of music you got going on. So tell us.
All right. So we're going to start off with music.
Okay.
Usually anywhere from 15 to 18 live performances. We believe in live music, and it's great. We have everything from Americana to bluegrass to country to even jazz. We have had just a little bit of everything. So and then in addition to that, well, and some of the musicians that we've had in the past is Pony Bradshaw. Let's see, the Barbaric Yops, Kindred Fire. I'm reading a little bit here. Brad Cochran, and then we had a fun band headlining last year, and it's the Pylon Reenactment Society. So I don't know if they're going to be back with us this year, but it's a lot of fun. They were kind of around in they were a little bit B-52ish, so a little nod to Athens, Georgia. So we have a lot of people who come over from there. And so in addition to that, we have about 60 artists, folk artists from about 12 different states. We do have some fine artists and crafts. And then when I said Southern, I was really trying to tell you, it is truly Southern. We have the Chattooga County Garden Club. Who makes literally death by pimento cheese sandwich and also tomato sandwiches. Now there is the huge debate of what mayonnaise to use. You've got your Duke's Corner, your other mayonnaises. So that still is is still happening. But sweet tea, homemade pound cake of every variety, every flavor, they sell out by 2:00 every day. They do. The line is rough. It is long,
wow.
but people stand in line for it. It's great. In addition to that, though, we have killer barbecue pork, beef, ribs, hamburgers, hot dogs for the kids, and there's probably going to be a little peach cobbler somewhere in the neighborhood. So anyway, so when I say Southern, we really are talking Southern. So
you do.
But it's a lot of fun. It's 2 days. It's September 23rd, 24th. Mark your calendars, everybody. Come and visit us. It's a lot of fun. It is an adorable festival.
What is that location again?
It's not too small. Say that again.
What's the location again?
It is located in historic Paradise Garden, which is Howard Finster's Paradise Garden in Somerville.
Okay.
And you can't miss it. Our website is really super easy. It's paradisegardenfoundation.org.
Perfect. Okay, couple fun questions. I always ask this because I am in live music and live entertainment. What is the best concert you've ever seen in your entire life, Tina?
Oh, I was hoping to ask you that.
You can't.
I am a Chris Isaak.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, man.
I am a Chris Isaak fanatic. I hate to even tell you, I have seen him over 22 times.
Well, good for you. Artists need.
It is bad.
It is bad.
I have to stay away from him, honestly.
I understand.
But I will tell you something very interesting. I did take in Atlanta. There's Emory University, and they have evening at Emory classes. Yep. And the coolest thing I've ever done is taken an evening at Emory class on Bob Dylan.
Oh, yes, yes.
I got to meet a ton of people much older than me that's really into the music. And one person had seen Bob Dylan over 200 times.
Oh, wow.
But it was an interesting coffee.
Okay, so does that answer my next question for you then? Dead or alive, you could bring one act or artist to Finster Fest. Would it be Bob Dylan?
Oh my gosh, I would love Bob Dylan, but now, honestly, I will tell you, REM, just because of our history. Yeah, I would love. Yeah, Michael Stipe, Mike Mills, the whole gang. Yep, come on over.
That'd be awesome.
Have a little bit of fun.
This is a segment where you get to ask me one question. What would you ask?
Oh, I've already buttered you up a little bit by telling you how good looking you are. So I will tell you, one question I'd ask is when are you playing in the Northwest Georgia area or North Georgia area?
Well, that's
what I would like to know.
Yep. So we're hoping to get some fall dates in Georgia. My goal is to spend the fall and the winter in the South, and not the North, which is where we tend to get booked. But yeah, so I would say basically, Tina, as soon as you tell us to come down and play, we'll be.
Well, we've got some cool music festivals that's in the South here. So yeah, it would be nice to have you on the playbill there.
Yeah, we could put together a run for sure. Okay, so you've given us the website, you've given us contact information. Anything else you want the listener to know about Finsterfest?
It's we're a nonprofit, Paradise Garden Foundation, and every single dime that is given to us during that we fundraise for, and this is our largest fundraiser, that it goes toward restoring the garden. And the garden is on the National Historic sites, so it's pretty darn cool. Come on and visit us. We've got 3 Airbnbs. We've got a little bit of lodging. Come on and spend the weekend with us and enjoy yourself. Something different. And we do have artist residencies that are free. That is also open to musicians. So if you are looking to write some music, be inspired, I guarantee you will be inspired by an artist residency at Paradise Garden.
Very cool. Tina Cox, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a ball